Aguilera, CPA, the Enforcement Advisory Committee Chair. Today is July 13th, 2023, and this is the Enforcement Advisory Committee meeting. I'd like to start by reading a resolution that hasn't quite yet been approved by the board, but since we have Mr. Johnson here with us, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that he's done great work for us and to sadly announce that he will not be seeking reappointment. This will be our last opportunity to be with Mr. Johnson. For now, right?
That's right. Well, thank you, Mr. Aguilera, for the kind word and comment. Thank you to the board and the staff and to the other committee members. It was really a pleasure serving on this committee. You're all doing excellent work to protect investor trust and the integrity of the profession in California. So please keep up the great work.
Great. And here is the resolution that the State Board will be adopting at its meeting in a couple of weeks. Whereas Jackson Johnson, CPA, has faithfully served as a member of the California Board of Accountancy Enforcement Advisory Committee from July 25th, 2019 through July 31st, 2023, and whereas throughout his term of service at all times, Jackson G. Johnson, CPA, gave fully of himself and his ideas and acted forthrightly and conscientiously, always with the public interest and welfare in mind. And whereas he has discharged these important responsibilities in a manner reflecting great credit upon himself and the accounting profession, and whereas his colleagues wish to express to him their high esteem and regard, now, therefore, be it resolved that the members of the California Board of Accountancy express heartfelt appreciation to Jackson G. Johnson, CPA, for the outstanding contribution he made during his term of service on the Enforcement Advisory Committee and to the consumers of California. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I echo that. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Although now you're leaving us with only 2 Johnson last names on the committee.
The CBA has provided the opportunity for the public to participate via WebEx, the WebEx platform. When we take public comments, we will begin by taking public comment from those individuals attending the meeting at the California Board of Accountancy headquarters. I will then ask the moderator to open up the lines for public comment. You will be allotted up to 5 minutes for public comment. And now we will establish a quorum. Ms. Wi-Fi, can you please call roll?
Doug Aguilera. Kathy Johnson.
Here.
Alan Gittleson.
Here.
Jackson Johnson.
Here.
Nasi Raytheon.
Here.
Jason Russell.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Wildfile.
Mike.
Here.
Thank you, Mr.
I would like to read this into the record. The CBA's mission is to protect consumers by ensuring only qualified licensees practice public accountancy in accordance with established professional standards. This mission is derived from the statutory requirement that protection of the public shall be the highest priority of the California Board of Accountancy in exercising its licensing, regulatory, and disciplinary functions. Whenever the protection of the public is inconsistent with other interests sought to be promoted, the protection of the public shall be paramount. And we will now go through our agenda items, starting with number 1, which is public comments for items not on the agenda. Is there anyone here in Sacramento from the public or otherwise that would like to add an item that has a comment for items not on the agenda? Moderator, can you ask if there are any comments online?
Yes, this is the moderator. Attendees, I've opened up the Q&A feature on WebEx. I have the instructions are on the screen. If you would like to participate, click the Q&A at the bottom right corner of your WebEx screen. It looks like a question mark inside of the square, and type I would like to make a comment or simply the word comment, and make sure it goes to all panelists before you hit the send button. Okay, I see no requests. Would you like me to close the Q&A feature?
Yes, thank you. The next item on the agenda is the report of the committee chair, starting with 2A, and its approval of the May 23rd Enforcement Advisory Committee meeting minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll approve the minutes.
A second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from our members? Are there any members of the public at the CBA headquarters who would like to make a comment? Moderator, please open up the lines for public comment.
This is the moderator. The Q&A is open. Instructions are on the screen. You can also raise your hand by clicking on the raised hand icon, which is the bottom right center corner of your WebEx screen. No requests. Would you like me to close the Q&A feature?
Yes, thank you. Ms. Wafley, please take roll.
Doug Aguilera,
Abstain.
Alan Gittleson,
Approved.
Jackson Johnson,
Abstain.
Kathy Johnson,
Approve.
Mike Johnson, Nasi Raytheon,
Approve.
Jason Russell.
Approve.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The next item is 2B, the discussion and possible action to amend the October 3rd, 2024 Enforcement Advisory Committee meeting date. Is that something you can talk to us about?
Yes. At the last meeting, the EAC previously adopted October 3rd for its meeting date for 2024. After adoption, we realized that that coincides with a religious holiday. So we would like to consider proposing October 10th as the new meeting date for 2024. And we would need a motion to adopt if you approve of that date. Thank you.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Gittleson. Are there any questions or comments from our members? Any questions or comments from the public here? Moderator, will you open up the lines and see if there are any questions or comments from the public?
Yes, this is the moderator. The Q&A is open. The instructions are on the screen for your reference. You can either click on the Q&A question mark inside of the square, bottom right corner, raise your hand, or if you're calling in, press *3 to raise that virtual hand. No requests. Would you like me to close the Q&A?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Wafley, will you take roll?
Doug Aguilera,
Approve.
Alan Gittleson,
Approve.
Jackson Johnson,
Approve.
Kathy Johnson,
Approve.
Mike Johnson,
Approve.
Nasi Raytheon,
Approve.
Jason Russell.
Approve.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The next agenda item is number 3, the report of the California Board of Accountancy Liaison. We're pleased to have Mr. Lin here today with us to give us a report. Thank you, Mr. Lin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Chair and members of the EAC. I'm the CBA member, Tony Lin. Will be providing a report of the May CBA's meeting. At the May 2023 meeting, the CBA discussed it, an exposure draft issued by the National Association of State Board of Accountancy regarding conditional credit earned for the uniform CPA exam. The exposure draft called for the credit to be extended from the current 18 months period to a 30 months period. While the CBA agreed that there should be an extension of the credit period, we did not specify the exact amount of time. We did direct staff to work with the President Salazar to issue a letter to the National Association of the State Board of Accountancy to provide general support of an extension to the conditional credit period for past sections of the uniform CPA examination. The CPA discussed a new topic regarding peer review and some challenges we have been experiencing regarding the peer review program. One topic related to access to peer review documents, especially those uploaded in the American Institute of the CPA's online access tool. After discussion, the CPA directs staff to work with the legislative language to ensure that firms make accessible to the CPA all data available in the online reporting tools. The CPA also discussed it, ensuring it was receiving all 4 peer review reports from the American Institute of the CPAs as required by the status. Staff identified a potential gap in this reporting, specifically firms licensed in California, but that have headquarters located in another state. The CPA directed staff to work with President Salazar to draft a letter to the American Institute of the CPAs directing it to the report of substandard peer review report of the California licensed firm, regardless of where they are headquartered, utilizing a data mining approach in collaboration with the California Society of CPAs. As you know, you'll be aware, back in January, the CBA discussed a complete fee analysis and even approved changes to various fees. Most notable, the renewal fee for CPAs and the firms. After some additional discussion with the stakeholders, the CBA rescinded its prior approval of the fees language adopted at the January. The CBA will still be increasing fees up to the levels originally adopted in January. However, it had decided to approve reversed language that would implement a 2-step license renewal fee increase approach. The proposal also maintained it, increasing the statutory cap for the CPA application fee and the accountancy firm application fee. CPA reviewed it, proposed legislation, and took a support position on Senator Bill or SB 544. SB 544 would amend the Bakery-Kin Open Meeting Act related to how a state body conducts a meeting by teleconference. You can view the CBA website for the information on Bill bills the CBA is borrowing. Are there any questions from the members regarding the May CBA meetings?
Very busy group.
Yeah. So CBA will hold its next meeting in person at the CBA office on July 27, 28, 2023. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Lin. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for giving us that report. And then we have encouraged you to attend one or two of the hearings today. So hopefully you'll be able to do that.
Thank you. Okay. That's what I'm here for.
Okay, great. The next item on our agenda is number 4, the report of the Enforcement Chief. Ms. O'Connor, the Deputy Enforcement Chief, will give us a presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. The activity report before you today is for the first 11 months of the fiscal year 2022-23. The CBA received around 4,000 complaints. The graph on the bottom of page 1 provides a comparison of the complaints received as of the same reporting period for the prior 2 fiscal years. You will see compared with the prior 2 fiscal years, we have received an increase, a 60% increase over fiscal year 2021 and a 20% increase over the most recent past fiscal year. On page 2, we have included information on the top 3 complaint types, with complaints regarding unlicensed activity being the top complaint. Moving on to investigations and investigations pending on page 3. At the end of the first 11 months of the fiscal year, we had closed a little over 4,500 cases, with 99% closed within 1 year. The average days to close investigations was 126 days, which was a slight decrease since the last report. Enforcement had a little over 1,600 cases in its pending investigations inventory. You will see an increase of pending cases in the 6 to 12 month bracket compared to last fiscal year. This is largely due to the influx in the number of unlicensed complaints received. There was 1 case over 24 months, which is still actively being investigated. The average age of our open cases was 113 days. Moving on to page 4, regarding discipline. Looking first at AG referrals, the CBA referred 35 matters to the Attorney General's office and filed 28 pleadings, with the majority being accusations. The CBA had 24 matters pending at the Office of the Attorney General, and the CBA had taken action on 33 final disciplinary orders. Moving on to citations and fines on page 5, the CBA issued a little over 350 citations. 55% of the citations were for a specific violation regarding the 20 and 12 continuing education requirement. We received 61 citation and fine appeals, and we have withdrawn or modified 44 of those citations. In most cases, the licensee either provided new mitigating evidence or complied with the issue that resulted in the issuance of the citation. Page 6 contains information regarding unlicensed activity. Already for this fiscal year, the CBA has received a little over 1,800 complaints regarding unlicensed activity. We have closed 2,240 investigations through the first 11 months of the fiscal year, with the majority of the cases being closed as a result of compliance. The final area of the report I'd like to highlight is on page 7 regarding probation monitoring. And as of May 31st, we had 81 individuals on probation. We identified 49 probation violations, with the majority being failing to submit the written quarterly report. And at this time, I'd like to turn the discussion over to Chair Aguilera and would be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. O'Connor. Are there questions?
I just have a comment. This is Kathy Johnson. I did notice that the total complaints for unlicensed activity is down about 400 complaints from last year.
Yes, I can confirm that I have reviewed the numbers for the full fiscal year, and we are more in line with what the past fiscal year was. So we did catch up in that area. Thank you.
This is Nazi Raysan. I have a question regarding our 2012 requirement. Has that number gone down at all? Is there more compliance from year to year, or are we still struggling with people just being nonchalant about it? Percentage-wise, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
has the percentage gone down at all?
I believe the percentage has pretty much remained around what we're seeing here. So it's holding steady with what we're reporting.
Is there anything that we can do as an organization to reach out to our members to say this is not something you can just brush under the rug? Or have we explored that?
Yes, we have conducted numerous outreach to inform licensees of this requirement. I think it's been in place now for over 10 years. So during that period of time, we have, wrote articles for update publications, had information on our website. So we have taken the opportunity to educate them. We also have sent education letters, when somebody is in violation of it as well, informing them of the requirements.
Thank you.
Has the fine gone up? Also, I feel like there was a fine increase as well. My perception is that staff has done a lot of work and outreach and carrots and sticks, but still the 20 and 12 violation continues to be a challenge.
To answer your question about the fine increase, we do review each violation on a case-by-case basis. So if a licensee has, it's their second time or third time violating, then we will, determine if it's necessary to increase the amount that's fined.
Ms. O'Connor, there was a prolific reporter of unlicensed activity, and I'm just wondering if that flow of complaints has slowed and if you've been able to get through the backlog.
Okay to speak?
Yes.
I'll turn it over to Dominic Frenzella.
Mr. Frenzella.
For all intents and purposes, nothing has really changed on that particular end. It's we're pulling back on kind of the open dialogue related to it, simply because of the nature of the complaint. But as you can see, the number of complaints has continued to pretty much maintain steady numbers. So at this point, that's kind of the information we're providing around that.
Thank you, Mr. Frenzella. Are there any other questions or comments? Any questions or comments from the public here in Sacramento? Moderator, can you open up the lines and see if there are any questions or comments online?
Yes, this is the moderator. The Q&A is now open. The instructions are on the screen for your reference. If you would like to participate, click that question mark inside of the square bottom right corner of your WebEx screen and type "I would like to make a comment" or simply the word "comment," and make sure it goes to all panelists before clicking the send button. If you're calling in, press *3 from your phone to activate the hand raise feature. And you can also, for those logged in, you can also raise your hand by clicking on the hand icon bottom of your WebEx screen. I do have call-in user raise their hand. Let me set the timer here, 5 minutes. Call-in user, I sent a request to unmute your microphone. You should be receiving that.
Thank you.
And you are unmuted.
I'm sorry, was there a comment? Are there comments?
This is the moderator. Call-in user 3. I'm going to send another request to unmute you. And this is if you have a public comment on this last agenda item. So I just resent the request to unmute your microphone. In just a moment. Oh, you are now unmuted.
Okay, can I comment?
Yes. And let me reset the timer here to 5 minutes. Give me just a second. Sorry about that. And I'll just give you a quick 15-second warning before your time is up. Go ahead.
Okay. I would like to comment on the issue of being actually being persecuted based on religion, based on race, based on where you come from.
Thank you for your comments. The public comments are limited to agenda items. Do you have any comments on any of today's agenda items?
Well, I think I was looking for something different, but I guess what I'm saying is not what you guys are saying, correct?
It doesn't sound like your comment relates to any of the agenda items for today. What I would encourage you to do is reach out to the Board of Accountancy, starting with the website and finding a department that you can call the general number, or to find a department that most closely aligns with your concerns and comments.
And that's, what is the name of it again?
I'm sorry, the California Board of Accountancy. You can call the general number and someone will help you, or you can go to cba.ca.gov for more information.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This is the moderator. No further requests. Would you like me to close the Q&A feature?
Yes, thank you. Our next agenda item is 5, review enforcement files on the licensees, which is part of a closed session. And I will now close our session this morning, and we'll go into closed session.